first session, which is the panel 2, following from yesterday. The session is called Challenges or Opportunities. What's your choice? And we have today with us a very eminent person who will take us through the session, who is going to be the moderator for the session. She is Ms. Fazilah Yusof, a certified master performance coach accredited by International Coach Federation and holds a master's degree in human resource management. She established Invictus Leadership Consulting ILC as a private practice focusing on leadership, consulting, and C-suite executive coaching, as well as in aspiring young leaders moving up the corporate ladder. Prior to establishing ILC, Fazilah served the corporate sector for 30 years, partnering with multifarious industries ranging from oil and gas, financial, industrial, and government-linked companies, whilst holding the senior management roles, including Chief Human Resources Officer at Human Resource Development Fund and Prudential BSN Takaful. Awarded as one of the 501 fabulous global HR leaders of the world by the World HRD Congress in 2020, Fazilah is a human resources advocate with a passion in executive coaching and change management. The obsession of uplifting individuals transform themselves to realize the hidden potential is what excites her. With that, I would hand over the session to Ms. Fazilah Yusof. Over to you, Fazilah. Thank you.
Very, very good morning. How is everybody today? Good? Can you put in the... Yes, excellent, great. All right, thank you so much for the introduction and a very good morning, everyone. And I was informed that there are participants from India, Pakistan, and Nepal, besides those participants from Malaysia. So welcome those participants to our shores in Malaysia, although it is on a virtual platform. A very good morning. And before I formally introduce the esteemed panelists that we have today, let's get our energy level to a higher notch. Can we do that? All right.
Why not? Yes.
Yes. Okay. So imagine this as a warm-up before a workout session. Okay.
Right.
So in the chat box that you have, indicate how you are feeling this morning. So there are 3 choices. Hands on the keyboard, everybody. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right. So type B, the alphabet B, if you feel blessed. Okay. Type E, if you feel excited. And type G, if you feel grateful. Ah, wow, a lot of G's, a lot of B's. Fantastic. Oh, BEG, wow. Thank you, Kamaruddin. BEG, that's great. That's a good energy. Okay, BEG. Wow, triple BEG, BEG squared. All right. Okay, great, great. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So I'm sure that you've had your cup of coffee, and that's why, you have BEG, you have B, and you have E. So thank you so much. So I hope that has set your adrenaline rush, and we can rush into the session that we have today. Okay, so thank you for your participation, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, allow me to introduce myself. And as the MC mentioned just now, I am Fazilah Yusof. I am the Deputy Chairman for Tulips Movement, and I shall be your moderator for this session. Thank you, YHOW, for inviting us to be part of this 2-day meaningful experiential conference. And I've been privy to the conference myself, and I find that it has been a fantastic journey, day one, and definitely day two will be more powerful and impactful. Thank you so much for your participation, for those who had been with us yesterday also. Yeah, and I would like to also make a mention to our sponsor for today, and it is XPG Engineering Sdn Bhd, a local homegrown engineering company established 15 years ago. And as I was perusing the website, they've just celebrated their 15-year anniversary 2 years ago. So congratulations, XPG. And XPG is a homegrown engineering company specializing in mechanical, electrical, and instrumentation and control services mainly in the general industry and power plant sectors. Now, its core services include project management, fabrication, construction, erection, commissioning, and maintenance related services. Thank you again, XPG Engineering, for sponsoring this platform so that all of us can learn and so that my esteemed panelists will be able to share their experiences. Thank you, XPG. Okay, so let's look and peel our topic for today. And the topic for today is challenges or opportunities, and what is your choice? Now, there are a few permutations which will be discussed today. And interestingly, when we had this discussion with the panel that we have today, it was, the question was, is it challenges? Is it challenges and opportunities? Or is it challenges or opportunities? So even us as panelists have got those questions in mind, right? And I'm sure the audience that we have today is very excited to see what the views are of the panelists, whether it's opportunities, whether it's challenges, or whether it's both. But the main thing that we have here in our topic, and which is very, very important, it's about the choice. It's always a choice. Whether you see it as a challenge, whether you see it as an opportunity, or whether you see it as both, it's always a choice. Yeah? So, okay, so the panelists will be discussing that today. And let me jump straight into the introduction of our esteemed panelists. First and foremost, I would like to introduce Dato Munirah Looi. Now, Dato has cautioned me to not call her Dato. So in the preceding conversations, Dato, with your permission, which have been granted before, I shall address you as Munirah. Yes? Okay, great. So Munirah is the founder, president of Founder, president, and CEO of Brandt International, a firm which specializes in the areas of business transformation consulting and outsourcing, with offices, wow, many places, Munirah, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Jakarta, and Manila. And Munirah is an experienced facilitator, human performance strategist, service quality management, and change management practitioner for the past 25 years. Definitely don't look it, Munirah. She is currently a sought-after speaker and advisor to various contact center and BPO associations and industries in the region, namely Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, and Indonesia. Her contribution has been recognized by numerous awards organizations. Amongst them are 10 Best Aspiring CEOs in 2020 by Industry Era, Top 3 nominee for the prestigious EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2018, Malaysia chapter, Women Leadership Award for Business Process Outsourcing sector in 2018, and Top 30 Women Achievers and Leaders Malaysia in 2017. And I'm sure the list goes on, Munirah. You're just too humble to share this here now, right? Thank you, Dato, for being here. Next up, another person to be reckoned with. Now, many people actually know her as the career doctor, but I checked, she does not have an MD though, but she's definitely an accredited career coach. Nonetheless, an expert in her own field, Hanie Razaif-Bohlender is a co-founder and general manager of Dragonfire Corporate Solutions in Berhad, a management consulting firm, and Dragonfire Academy, a center for continuous adult learning. From 2018 to 2020, Marketing in Asia online magazine named Hanie one of the top inspirational LinkedIn icons in Malaysia to follow. I followed you, Hanie, so yeah. So I think that it counted, right? And she is also a member of the Global Trainers Federation. Hanie serves on the Industry Advisory Board of Monash University Malaysia School of Business and on the Industry Advisory Panel of Taylor's Business School, Taylor's University, Malaysia. Welcome, Hanie. And we are saving the best for the last, the counsellor in the house, Miss Lakshumy Kumar. Welcome, Lakshumy. Now, Lakshumy is a registered and licensed counsellor under the Board of Counsellors Malaysia, currently practicing at UCSI University. She is a certified hypnotherapist with the American Board of Hypnotherapy with a Bachelor of Counseling from University Malaya. Are you going to hypnotize us today, Lakshumy? No? Okay, hopefully not, right? And she is also awarded 2 certifications in cognitive behavioral therapy with hypnosis and a specialist certificate in cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy from the London College of Clinical Hypnosis Asia, LCCH. Now, throughout her career as a counsellor, Lakshumy has worked together with clients that come from various backgrounds and handled cases pertaining to personal, family, relationship, career, academic, as well as suicidal cases related to mental health issues. And I think having you here today as part of our panel is very apt because YHOW looks into all these kind of mental issues. Yeah, so thank you so much, panelists. I am very, very happy and humbled to be part of this very esteemed panelists. And let's give our best to the participants today. Let's share the 25 years that Munirah has. I think, Hanie, you don't look as though you have 25 years too, but let's say more than 25 years for Hanie too. Lakshumy, I think you look very young, so yeah, maybe about 20 years of experience that all of us have, and let's make the best of this session today, and let's help our audience in peeling the topic that we have today: challenges, opportunities, and what is our choice. Welcome, panelists. Thank you. We are now looking at, yes, thank you so much. Okay, was that the poll that has already been taken? Yes?
Yes, that's the poll. Yeah.
That's the poll. Okay.
Yeah, that's the poll that's ongoing. Yes.
Okay, the poll has been ongoing. Okay.
Right.
And how much are we already in getting the full results?
Shortly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So you will be helping us to project the finalized numbers?
Sure, we will.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Okay. Who is that behind that voice?
That's Ravi, the MC
Ravi.
for today.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Ravi.
Welcome.
Okay. Okay. So now I would like to start off this session with a quote from the founding father of United States of America. Now he's very old and it's on the 18th century already, but John Adams, who said, "Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise." Okay, now I leave the panel with that thought, but before we start off with getting the views from the panel, let's get the views from the participants and see how they feel that this is resonating with them, right? Okay, so participants, hands on your keyboards again. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so get your hands on the keyboard, 3 choices again. Type C if you feel that it has been challenging times. Type O if this current time has presented an opportunity for you. And type CO, the alphabet CO, if it has been both a challenge and an opportunity. Let's see what they say. Wow, CO, opportunity, that's a lot. Oh, okay. All right, opportunity. Oh, CO+++. That must be a COBOL language or something. Okay, CO.
It's flowing in. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, great. So many actually has mentioned it as challenge and opportunity. That's a great indication. Okay, so, wow, Muhammad Razin. I am happy to see that it is a lot of challenges plus opportunity. And I hope that it is actually challenges plus opportunity, right? Your C, your challenges seem to be a little bit more than just your O. So let's see. Okay, so let's dive into this conversation, panelists. Lakshumy, perhaps if I can just get your thoughts on the statement that we mentioned just now. Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. What is your thoughts around that?
Right. A very good morning to everyone. Fazilah, thank you so much. I really feel privileged to be sharing this platform with these 3 amazing ladies. Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Well, let's go back into our question. Today's topic is the most, I would say, my favorite topic. Yeah, okay. I think maybe because I'm dealing with students, and most of the time, this is the question that we will ask our clients, our students, when we engage with youth. Okay, when we're talking about challenges or opportunity, and what's your choice. Okay, and it's very interesting actually. Yeah, let me share some of the feedbacks that usually I get when I engage with this youth. Okay, when we say youth and young adulthood, yeah, okay, we are also still under youth category, I believe. Yeah, not so old yet lah. So when we throw the question to everyone, when we say, what comes to your mind when we say challenge? Okay, when we say challenge in life, how do you view that? All right, it's amazed because the view that people give us, they have, of course, we talking about among panelists earlier, challenges and opportunity, or challenges or opportunity. Am I right? And interestingly, the feedback that we get from the public, or young adulthoods, when I ask what is challenge, okay, the common answers that usually I will get will be, challenge means it's a problem, okay, it's in a difficulties, all right, it's an issues. Some says it's in a trauma, Okay, some label it as a complicated situation. Yeah. If you notice all those words that are being associated with challenge, does it sound negative to you? Right? They project it in a negative term. All right. And why does this happen? Okay, from my experience dealing with the youth and all that, when we go in back, dig in back, we explore more. Why does this comes from them? And we don't go in and change and say, hey, challenges is positive. How could you say negative, isn't it? So when we dive into their issues, when we look at it, what happens is they associate the term of challenge based on their past experiences in their life. Okay, their past experiences, their unfinished business, their trauma, right? Their fear in life, probably certain matters that they would have encountered in their life, the others' experience that they have observed. So all this comes in hand in hand, and the way they observe or the perspective about challenge changed. When we said there is a lot of challenges in life, it's automatically the brain, okay, it associates directly to the negative term. What happens here would be when they associate that with the negative term, they are basically preparing themselves, the stress is already built up. They are preparing themselves for the fight or flight, okay? It's not about, hey, I got a challenge, I'm going to look at it. My life is going to progress. Yeah? They don't go into that phase, but they go into another phase, either I fight or I flight. The stress shoot up, they feel the world is like shrinking, there are a lot of things they're unable to make simple decisions. Yeah, sadly to say, they're unable to make even a very simple decision. That's where the choice comes in. Okay, so they comes and says that it is very difficult for me to make decision. Okay, I am not good in decision making. Then we ask, what's your choice? They said, I don't know because I'm not good in making decision. But most of us, what happened, maybe in the, we do have our participant here, when we do this sharing, you can try to reflect with yourself too. If you have ever encountered such situation, how do you answer? Yeah. Do you have the difficulties in making choice, in saying I'm unable to make decision? But we are making decision daily. Today you have made a decision to be here with us. You have made a decision to stay, to join this conference. That is also a part of the decision. You are here because you want to learn, or you're finding some solution perhaps, okay, for some of your questions that you may have. So saying that, yeah, challenges in life is something that we need, okay, something that we really need in order for us to move from one phase of life to another. All right, it is an indication that our life is actually progressing, yeah, to another level. And this can be in many aspects of, areas of life. It's not only about, when you're talking about, I'm from a counselor from university setting and, working together with young adulthood. Of course, I deal with other publics also, right? When I look into it, it comes a lot. People think UCSI in universities levels is always about studies. No, I hardly get any cases because of their studies. Surprisingly, many people thought, oh, counselors in university, they're always dealing with, study issues or academic concern. But we are dealing more than that. This is on behalf of other counselors who are also coming from education setting. We are dealing with lots of issues pertaining to their family, pertaining to their childhood traumas, their past experiences. Some would have gone through some abuse cases, sexual harassment. And why not? What not? Up to suicidal, depression, anxiety, all this does comes in. So basically, we are dealing with lots of things, not only academic concern. Saying that there are a lot of challenges in their life that they are struggling, okay? That we are struggling to move from one to another point. And it may seem tough. Okay, when you say challenge, right? It may seem tough, they feel uncomfortable, they feel uneasy because we are trying to move from one comfort zone, from where we are, we're already there. Though it's not nice, it's negative, but we are used to it. Okay, somehow we are used to it, though it's negative. So for you to have another challenge to move to another phase, it requires lots of energies, effort, and time. And how many have the strength, the inner strength to move, is something really we need to question. Over to you, Fazi. Maybe I'll share more later.
Thank you so much. Lakshumy, interesting that you mentioned about suicidal. Without going into details, right? I'm very interested, and I think the audience is also interested to know, at the point of a person who goes into this suicidal or the intent of wanting to be on a suicidal mode? What is their thinking process? Is it because of it being a challenging time that they aren't able to address the stress? What is your experience? Can you share with us?
Sure. And before that, okay, when we're talking about such topics as quite sensitive, I would just like to remind the participant, if at any point the discussion triggers you or you need to break, you can take a break, or if you need to reach out to anyone you need to speak, you please take that break and reach out to your, to the nearest support that you have, because these kind of topics can be a little sensitive for them. Yeah, so just bear in mind that we are discussing so that all of us may be able to understand what exactly happening. Maybe I can put it in a one simple word here. When I'm talking about those cases that I have handled, yeah, about pertaining to suicidal ideation, thoughts, attempts, and all that, what comes in a suicidal person usually, they do not want to end their life. They just want to end the pain that they're going through. Yeah, many people think, oh, people who are suicidal, they don't seek help, they don't reach out to people, they just giving a lame excuses, they are not brave enough. All this is not right. What they wanted to do is mainly they want to end the pain that they are going through at that particular moment. It's overwhelming. So it actually varies from one individual to another, but the basic or the underlying issues that you can see, they just want to end the pain that they're going through, not their life. If given a chance, they want to live the life in a different way.
Yeah, if I may add, if I may share and add to what Lakshumy is talking about, it's that I think at the end of the day, it's primarily about the state of mind that we are in, right? And that goes back again to that mental health that we adopt. And I think the first key thing is to be aware. And be conscious about the mental thoughts. What is the thoughts that's playing in your minds? Because those thoughts will kind of affect your emotions, the way you feel, and that will essentially drives the kind of actions, that you will take in this case here. So I think the first thing is really about being conscious about your emotions, the thoughts, your emotions, and how, the kind of actions that potentially is going to happen. And I think the second key thing around being, recognizing that you have a concern is really about being curious. All right. Curiosity is very important, because being curious, it's really about asking yourself, right? Where did I get this thought coming from? Where is this thoughts coming from? What is the factors? What is the environment that is actually affecting my thoughts, my feelings at this point of time? So I think it's very important to go beyond just, oh, I feel lousy. It is important to kind of ask yourself, and be curious. Why am I feeling lousy today? Why am I feeling, so negative, And so that curiosity becomes very important. And get clarity. I think that's the other C that I want to talk about, is about consciousness. The second key thing, it's about being curious. And the third is really about getting clarity in terms of your moment, your current state. And then focusing on what do you want to achieve? That is your future state, all right? So getting clarity of your needs, what exactly do you need? And I think what Lakshumy is basically saying, it's the fourth C. It's really about communicating what you need, what help do you want, all right? Because always remember, your journey is not alone. That you need to be able to, network and find people who is out there who will be able to help you. There's a huge community out there who essentially it's going to be ever ready to reach out to kind of, talk you through in this case here. So let me just repeat, it's about consciousness. It's about, being curious. It's about curiosity. It's about getting clarity of your state of mind and getting clarity of what you need to do. It's about communicating to the people, and the third and the last C, it's really about communicating, the community, seek help, and I'm very sure, you will find positivity or the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Munirah. Thank you. Very, very good. 4 C's as what you mentioned just now. Conscious, you need to be conscious of what you are experiencing yourself. You need to be curious. You need to have that clarity that you need help, and then reach out, communicate to the people around you. And like what you say, Munirah, you are not alone. And I believe, Lakshumy, you mentioned that these people who have these suicidal thoughts, they do not want to end their life. They know that they have people who loves them, but they just want to end the pain. And perhaps at that point in time, they may not know this 4 C's, as what Munirah mentioned, right? They do not reach out. They are not conscious about how they feel. So yes, thank you so much, Munirah, for that, the conversation. I believe if that were to be the case, when Munirah says the 4 C's, right, it comes back to our topic, which is a choice. It's always a choice about wanting to be conscious, always a choice of wanting to be curious and wanting that clarity and wanting to reach out. So there is that opportunity for you to know all this and make that choice before you go into that space whereby there is no way to return. Thank you so much, Munirah. Now, let's look in a bright side again, and perhaps we can segue back to Lakshumy if there were to be more questions around this. Is a very interesting topic, Lakshumy. However, like you said, it could be something which is it could be very, very hard on some people, who may not be able to, contain their emotions, right? So we'll keep you for a while. We'll come back to you, but I would like to now go back to Munirah. Now, Dato, just now you mentioned about the clarity and the consciousness, the 4 C's, right? And based on the conversations that we had with the participants just now, most of them sees it as I could say a C and an O, right? So, it's a challenge and it's an opportunity. Now, you are a business transformation specialist. What are your thoughts on the results, Munirah?
Thanks, Fazilah, for the question. So I'm going to talk from a perspective of my journey as an entrepreneur, right? I mean, which is essentially not very different from you as a student. You are now in the workforce. All of us deal with challenges on a day-to-day basis, all right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the business that I'm in. And likewise, generally, today we are seeing that a lot of SMEs, are certainly facing a lot of challenge, all right? Because of COVID, because of the lockdown, you find that a lot of SMEs are essentially struggling, right? In terms of cash flow, in terms of high operating costs, and they have to start shifting the way that they're doing business, right? From offline to online mode, right? In order for them to survive, all right? But yet again, in times of crisis like this, we also seen that a lot of companies have also thrived, all right? Because they see this as essentially an opportunity for them, to ride on this wave so that they are able to thrive in situations of adversities like this. So I guess, from my perspective as an entrepreneur, what I've learned in the journey for year 2020 has been, it has been to recognize that, yes, we are faced with a challenge. A tsunami just hit us, all right? We don't know where it came from, but it just hit us, all right? But do you therefore stop and not do anything and wait for the tsunami to happen, because we don't know. There's so much uncertainties, there's so much adversities which is out there. So you can take an approach and says that it's a problem, it's a challenge, and not do anything about it, right? But in my instance, 2020 has been the most rewarding year for me as in the company for the last 16 years, because what has happened is that we charted our highest revenue throughout the last 16 years in my business. We improved our bottom line, and we have the best year from top line to bottom line. Our workforce grew from 600, and in a span of 6 months, my workforce grew to 1,000 people in year 2020. All right. So one of the key learnings that I've got, as a result of this journey and the disruptions that has happened in year 2020, it's really, number one, it's to be able to understand the state of mind, which I'm mentioning and I'm sharing because that journey was very meaningful for myself. It's that we need to recognize, first of all, that we have a challenge. In front of us is a challenge. So the next thing is, so what do you do with this challenge? All right. Do you need to address the challenge? That's for sure. So you have to adopt a positive mindset to actually overcome those challenges, and recognizing that those challenge is not going to be there forever, right? Because, if you are resilient, you're going to look at this challenge as a temporary setback, and you recognize that you're going to recover from it very quickly. And that mindset triggers the emotions, triggers the actions that one take, all right, to not only surpass the challenges, but to thrive in that process itself here. So I would think that, recognizing the challenges is one key important point. You need to recognize that challenge. And how do you change that into an opportunity for ourselves? And it all starts with that state of mind. It starts with knowing and ensuring that you have the right strategy to take you from point A to point B, and making sure you have laser focused execution. All right. It's not about planning, you want to go there. It is about taking actions. Right. And that's really important, right? And it is that actions that will take us there, and recognizing that in times of challenges, okay, you're going to face with obstacles along the way, right? But your ability to pivot, all right, and your ability to be agile in that process, it's obviously very important, to face with those challenges and thrive in that process itself here. So I guess those are some of the key learnings I've got, is recognizing that we have a challenge, but knowing then what do I need to do about it, and then focusing on executing it, and recognizing that when you execute, you will still be facing with obstacles. But so those are roadblocks. But I need to recognize that when it comes, I must be agile enough to pivot. Okay, if A doesn't work, then I go into point B. And if B doesn't work, then I go into point C. So it's really about evolving oneself. It's about not getting stuck in your current state, but just keep on going. And that's really what resilience it's really all about. Looking at negativity, looking at challenge as just a temporary setback, but focusing your energy on moving forward rather than what has already passed. So focus on what we call the present moment. And the present moment, it's what you have, all right? And make that moment, positive, and rewarding for your own personal life. So I'm going to stop here, and then, probably, I'm sure there's much more that we can talk a little bit about, but I think I'll stop here first. So thanks, Fazilah, for the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Munirah. Congratulations on the success of your organization despite the adversity that we're having. And you mentioned around, recognizing the challenges, executing the roadblocks, and agile enough to pivot when the time warrants you to do so, right? Now, if I may ask you a question, Munirah, in terms of the organizations that you have been exposed to or you've consulted with. Now, what about those smaller organizations, the SMEs? Were they able to pivot? Were they able to understand those challenges and recognize those roadblocks? What are your thoughts around that, the SMEs?
Well, certainly, again, it's a mixed bag of how people respond to COVID. I will use COVID because it's very recent and people can essentially connect with it. Well, you do have a group of people who's sitting there and just complain, all right? The government is not doing enough, the bank is not doing enough, and we complained about the SOPs, the enforcements and all that, right? Because those things, those negative thoughts is not going to get you anywhere. But we have also seen SMEs, some business owners who took charge and they took control of that situation. All right. And very quickly move from the traditional way of doing business into the digital channel of doing business. All right. So what they did is they reevaluate their business model and leverage on partnerships, leverage on collaborations, to use the digital tools to go into the marketplace to continue to stay relevant. So those that embraced digital transformation, those that embrace technology are the ones that are ahead of everyone, right? So it's really about that, again, that mindset, the state of mind, whether you want to just get stuck or you have to say, look, I need to take control and manage the situation, and move forward with it, with the challenges itself. Yeah.
Thank you. And I believe 14 months into the COVID situation, it has improved a little bit because I was part of the whole unpreparedness March 2020, when everybody was caught and nobody was prepared. Employers were scrambling to prepare their employees. Employees were also in the mentally unprepared, and things were really chaotic. But 14 months into what we are now terming as the new norm, MCO 3.0, we are embracing it. So yes, so I believe the SMEs, in terms of pivoting now, perhaps it may not have been what it was 14 months ago, but then now I believe they already are in the mode of understanding what changes need to be made in their own organization in order for them to survive. Thank you, Munirah.
Yes, we are essentially we are more prepared than before, right?
Correct.
And if we can just adopt that mindset of curiosity about wanting to do things differently, and how to stay relevant in the business that you're in and stay in competition, then you will find those reasons. You will find the answers, to get ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Very wise advice. Thank you, Munirah. I see Hanie waiting in the wings. Very excited to hear your views, Hanie. Now, you are termed as the coach doctor, and I have been privileged and humbled to have known you. I think I need your help too, perhaps.
Yes.
Now, I may be your client soon. So curious to know, the clients that are with you seek your advice in their quest to look for clarity, look for happiness and fulfillment in their career journey. Now, we talk about challenges, we talk about opportunities, or we talk about challenges and opportunities. So what would be your approach when your clients come to you with that kind of statement? Challenges or opportunities? What's your take on it?
Fazi, thanks so much for that curveball question. Okay, so challenges or opportunities. Before I get into my response to your question, I just wanted to say something that what Munirah was saying earlier, and also Lakshumy, and especially for Munirah when she was, talking about how the SMEs pivot and all that. All of this boils back to our adaptability to potentially see whether it's going to be a challenge or challenges or opportunities. It's all about the narrative. It's all about the narrative. If we begin to look at things from challenges, the whole entire action of ours will become or reflecting to that. Everything is a challenge, and when that happens, you will see that the responses will always have responses to every question. Okay, so every question there's always an answer. Answer means excuses. I've been working with a broad spectrum of clientele for the past many years, and especially so for the past 5 years. 5 years working with a spectrum of individuals as well as corporate, because Fazi, our clientele mixed up on both sides. One is B2B and the other one is B2C. Now, starting from the pandemic time last year, what we have seen is that a shift of the balance between the business, and we have pivoted quite nicely since last year, that it used to be B2B, now it's 60% B2C as opposed to the previous year. So last year itself, just like Munirah, we pivoted in terms of our business strategy, and our bottom line has actually tripled in comparison to Dragonfire's existence of the past 9 years. So again, I think it depends on how you see things. If you see it as a challenge, then hey, you know what, you're right. If you see it as an opportunity, hey, you're right too. Yeah. So coming back to your question, a lot of our client list, 60% comes from B2C, who are individuals who hire us or our services to work with them. And the other 40% comes from organizations who wanted us to help their people to be transit out, because we also work in the space of career transition. So you figure out why last year was a triple bonus for us, because there were so many companies who are downsizing. So business downsizing, there are a lot of people going to be transited out, and we came in to help these people to be transited out and landing a job somewhere within the industry or somewhere else. So a lot of our B2C clients, of course, at first when they were being downsized, they see this as a challenge, right? I mean, you wake up this morning, you think that you have a job the next day, and then you go to the office, 9 o'clock, you've been given a letter of transition. You're going to be transited out within what? 3 months. Some have been given notice for 30 days. There goes a plan to get married. There goes a plan to buy a car. There goes a plan to save some money, go for Umrah and things like that. These are all challenges, and each time we take over a client who's been transited out, one of the very first few things we do is that we try to assess, or I'll try to assess at what stage of their mindset accepting the change which is happening in their life. I can guarantee you anything that's got to do with change in our life will have that period of time trying to adjust, accepting whether it's going to be, damaging to our ecosystem, to our financial health, our mental health, our family, because it's a big impact, especially on financial aspect. Yeah, especially if you're in our Asian context, especially if you're man, especially if you're the sole breadwinner, especially if you have some other, responsibilities towards your bigger families and things like that. So very, very important that we address the state of mind first. Doesn't matter if the state of mind is still not ready to accept these changes or high impact of being transited out, no matter how much support a career coach or the organization or the community tries to help, it won't matter. They won't move. They won't move. Yeah, because all they see are hurdles. Yeah, roadblocks. You will say that, okay, so within the next 30 days, there will no longer, you'll no longer be receiving your paycheck. So what's the plan? You know what they'll say? I don't know. All I want to do is to die. Yeah, I remember a few years ago, and we haven't even talked about the impact of pandemic, Fuzzy. A few years ago, we were tasked to take over a career transition project. And so what happened was we came in the morning, and by 9 o'clock, a whole entire group of people were told that they were going to be let go. And these are all the people from the drivers right up to the senior manager. And I remember sitting across one of the guys who just received his transition letter, has been downsized. The first thing he did, and we're talking about a 50-year-old man, okay? And I remember sitting right across him, and he broke down. He broke down. And this is not unique in a sense, because it's all about the mindset. So moving forward, once we understand at what stage they are, and how can we move them, how can we help them to move from one state to another, accepting and begin to plan, then only they will be able to help themselves to see what are the choices available. And sometimes the choices are not the best choice of all. However, it's still a choice. And one of the choices is that, and this is the immediate one, I will always ask this question: when is the latest that you need to bring the bread to the table? If you need to bring the bread to the table like today, well, we cannot walk in the park since yesterday, right? So these are all hard choices as well. So as a career coach, Fuzzy, I think one of the key responsibilities, and my role, I find that sometimes this role has a lot of responsibilities, because we're hearing all kinds of feedback, all kinds of secrets, mental wellness, people are not feeling so well and all that, suicidal, and I can understand you, Lakshumy, suicidal tendencies and all that. And very, very important to understand the stage where they are, the kind of choices that they have to make. And this is one of the roles that, as a career coach, myself, will try to support them to find that clarity, just like what Munirah said. It's all about the clarity as well. Yeah. So there you go. It's all about stages, mindset, and all that. And I think empathy plays a big role when we try to help supporting, our clients to move forward.
Okay, thank you so much. So where you are saying is that I like what you mentioned about when is the latest that you need to bring the bread to the table. And I think that has got a lot of impact, that has got a lot of reflection. And, things may not be looking so bleak. If the latest that you need to bring to the bread to the table is perhaps a month because you still have a job and you've just gotten the notice of termination perhaps, then, it's not so daunting as compared to that of I need to bring the bread to the table like today. And, that's that kind of conversations where the career coach is concerned is going to be different. So it's about reframing and also understanding what is the state of mind of the people who you are coaching or who you were supporting.
Yeah, Fazi, I just wanted to also add that there was a report a couple of years ago, and I still is very relevant to today's environment. The report also says, or rather the research also says that when one is being faced with the outlook of being in poverty, okay, at the outlook of being poverty, the brain starts to shrink a little bit, and that diminishes the ability to think in clarity. I find that interesting. Yeah.
Can you repeat that? That's very interesting.
Yeah,
the study shows?
Yeah, the study shows that when someone is on the onset of having the outlook of facing poverty, yeah, the brain shrinks at a certain percentage, and this affects them to see things with clarity. And that's the reason why when someone is being cornered, especially when they're being downsized, they're facing, not having a job, not having money, they're at a certain poverty line, for example, not having the ability to do what they're supposed to do economic-wise. They feel that everything is shrinking in, that the earth just opens up and the sky is going to fall. That's the reason why. There's a scientific reason to all of this. And that's the reason why, as a society, we have the social obligation to reach out as well.
Right.
Yeah, because no point, I say, hey, be positive, be positive. They can't be positive. The brain is changing. Yeah, so for us as a community, as a society, we have the social obligation, at least to check in. How are you? What else can we help? Because the diminishing ability to think further, to see things in a more positive light is just diminishing. So,
right.
Interesting.
So yeah, thank you. And it comes back to what Munirah mentioned initially just now. It's about reaching out. It's about knowing where you are, getting that clarity, and reach out to others for help should there be that situation.
Yes, but it was both ways, yeah. So it was both ways. Not only that, they have to reach out because they don't know what to do. But as a society, as the ecosystem, we also have the responsibility to be reaching out as well.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Because we have the better clarity, right?
Okay. So I'll just pause you there, but then I will get back to you shortly.
Sure.
I want to touch a little bit more about what you mentioned about the society itself having that responsibility in support. It's not just the person, it's also the society having to support. And I know that you are very big in helping this. You are part of a community to help this. So pause there first because I need to make an announcement. On behalf of the session today, we would like to apologize. We had touched on a little sensitive issue just now. So we did not mean to discriminate anyone in any way or label anyone in any way. So therefore, please accept our apologies. And we understand that, some of the things that had been said could have been quite sensitive. We will refrain from saying those or discussing those because we may not be the experts in discussing that in depth. So apologize to those who may have thought that this is something that we may not be the experts. So sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to you, Hanie.
Yes.
You were saying about the society having to need there is going to be a need for the society themselves to help others.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate of believing that as a society, we have the social obligation, because no man is an island. Here we are, sometimes we say that, oh, we must do this, we must do this, we must do that. People need to do this, need to do that. But the main question is, what are we doing about all this problem? Okay, granted that we can't be saving the whole entire world, but we can support our inner circle, our circle of influence, by even reaching out. I remember, Fazi, when we first had our first wave last year, I myself was facing some sort of, shock. And it was helping that I also recognized at what stage I was at the point of time when receiving the fact that, oh my God, this is a lockdown. How am I going to pivot my business, etc., etc. Looking at my sales pipeline for the whole entire year just collapsed with that announcement on the 18th of March. And I think for those business women, Munirah, for example, just looking at your sales line like, oh my goodness, it's just gone in seconds. But some of us are trained to foresee that and taking charge over the kind of, outlook, but not everyone. Not everyone. So I remember the first couple of months of the pandemic, I make it a point to have a daily list of reaching out to at least 5 people every single day, old friends, school friends, college friends, friends whom I have never met on LinkedIn. And that way, not only that I like to personally think, not only that I want to reach out to connection and friends, but it was both ways. I am also reminded that I need help. It also reminded that I need help. I need to have the engagement. So as a society, I think it doesn't have to take so much to reach out as well. For those friends who can't be everywhere, why not reach out and just say, okay, what do you need? It doesn't really take much. You need grocery, for example. Can I send you nasi lemak for tomorrow morning? It doesn't really take that much. Yeah. And as an organization, we've seen quite a bit of downsizing since last year as well, and the year before. The last thing we want to do, of course, as a business owner is to downsize. Okay, because this word downsize has bad connotation. That means that you just don't need a group of people to be working anymore, or you don't know how to manage your business. But it's nothing personal. It's either the business or the business. If there's no business, there's no job. Then what? Yeah. So as a business owner, I think one of the things that we need to do, and that also reflecting on my own business, is to make sure transiting out is the last choice, because there are other things that we can start saving first. Are we renting at high places? Why not shift to a more feasible rented places? Yeah. Number one, we need to look at capex, for example, as a business people. At what line, at what areas can we save on? Because transiting out would be the last thing, even though it's a business decision, but sometimes it has to be done. But then what else can we do first? It should not be the default decision. For example, training, during pandemic, during pandemic, training is always the first to go. Yeah, when the company is not doing very well. Okay, training this year, we have allocated 1 million, but you know what, we're going to slash it to 500,000. it's okay. Well, it's not okay. What else? What else? If we as business people can do some of the things to do the cost saving, then transiting out should be the last thing. And that is my meaning when I say, as a society, what else can we do? And I think this is the part of the social obligation that we need to have as an individual as well as companies. Yeah, so that's my thoughts, Fazi.
Thank you. There was a question, and I throw this back to the panel. We talk about training. You mentioned, Hanie, just now that training was the first to go in terms of where organizations are concerned. But there is another thought around charity, CSR activities. What's your thoughts on that?
On charity?
On charity being the first, and not so much the training, but the charity goes first.
Oh, the charities goes first. First, to be honest with you, and this may go against a grain of some thoughts, some school of thoughts. Okay, some organization come up with CSR because they want a certain privilege. To me, CSR program should be what it is. CSR program, it should not come out from anywhere else, but from the portion of the profit that they're making, that the company is making. So even 5%, 10%, usually about 5%. Then use it. That's already an allocation. If you can't take out 5% from whatever profit that you've been making all these years, I think there's something wrong with that organization. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Hanie. That's a very candid suggestion. Munirah, what are your thoughts?
Well, certainly, I think CSR begins with home, your home, right? And in this case, my home represents the organization. And I do see that, the role of the employer has expanded beyond just as a job creation, but a role which actually represents, how do you represent the social safety net for your people? All right, I can kind of relate back to, again, when COVID hit us last year in March, the first thing that comes into our mind is job protection, all right? So we just want to make sure that the people continue to have a job, all right? And once we were very clear about this, then the next thing is, so how do I protect the revenue and protect the business, in order for us to ensure that the well-being of our employees are there. So I would think that, you don't talk about, you don't have to talk about CSR as something internal, external, but looked inside to look at how we can play that expanded role of ensuring that our employees' financial, physical, and mental well-being, it's essentially being taken care of, right? I think there need to be more support to enhance the HR policies, all right, in order for us to ensure that, people is given the assurance that, they're taken care of, they are protected, and throughout the whole pandemic, we had not failed to humanize our approach. We have not stopped communicating because we knew that this was the time where people are just uncertain, working from home, and working from home came with a host of challenges for some people, and we had to continue to kind of communicate to and reach out to these people to ensure that their well-being are being managed as well. So I do see that the role of the employer moving forward, it's really about putting that social safety net as part of the agenda, number one, and number two, it's to enhance the whole employee experience. Becomes now also a key strategic agenda for a lot of HR professionals. It's no longer about just purely giving a job, but making sure from a point when you hire someone to a point that the person stays with the organization. It's how do you design that experience to ensure that people continue to feel loved, cared, and see working in the organization as not a job, but seeing this as a career for themselves. All right. So I think putting that human element, the human dimensions into what we do becomes much more important in today's context than before. So it's beyond just the revenue component, right? So I believe strongly that if we take care of our people, the revenue will come.
Right. I like your spin in regards to charity begins at home. And in many organizations, the charity is in the context of ensuring that the staff are being kept safe. Measures are being done in order to ensure their safety. HR policies need to be agile and changed to make sure that they have got the utmost comfort in ensuring that they can do their jobs properly. So it's not just a charity whereby a CSR, to extend it to the outside community, but also charity CSR internal within the organization, which is the home, as what you've just described. Thank you, Munirah. Now, Lakshumy, we did not forget you. I wanted to just touch base with you. Now, Hanie as well as Munirah talked about state of mind. Talked about, in order for you to make that choice, you need to have that state of mind. Now, you are a counselor. How is this state of mind can be tuned or can be adaptive in order to embrace these challenges and therefore equating that as an opportunity?
Right.
Lakshumy.
Thank you, Fazi. Okay, that's really great to hear from both Munirah and Hanie when they share a lot about the mind, okay, the mindset and also the challenges that people are going through. So I'm just going to come out a little bit out from the career or the work challenges. Let's try to focus on you as a person, which means we as a person. This is personal thing that you can do. And I like the way that Hanie asked, how can we master our mind, So actually, when you're talking about all these challenges in life, yeah, interestingly, whatever have shared by the two panelists is exactly what we are going through during this pandemic, isn't it? So all of us are going through some very intense moment. The beginning of 2019 when they announced about this virus, and 2020 when it hit us, isn't it? So when you're talking about what happens to us during that point, yeah, our mind is very powerful, as well as our life is also a roller coaster, okay? So there is always ups and downs, isn't it? So what happens, okay, when something hits us hard, yeah, our mind can be a formidable opponent to our own path from becoming a better person. By saying that, it means it can pipe up with all kind of negative commentary when things are not going well. Yeah, and it can have the power to derail you with doubt and fear, not only with others, but with our own self. We started to question a lot of things about ourselves. Yeah, you can connect this with your personal issues that you might be going through. You can also reflect this back with the current situation, or if possible, you can reflect back this. How was your life before pandemic? Can we say there is no life challenges at all before pandemic? We have been facing challenges, isn't it? So try to look back into that and see how did you come out of it? What happens to you? Okay, what happens to our mind at that point of time? So when we're talking about life challenges, one of the challenges that we are all experiencing, and this is going to be in a lifelong, as we are going to manage this, is mastering our mind. Okay, our mind controls our perspective. It informs how we receive and process our interaction with the world around us, isn't it? For an example, let me give this example, yeah? We've been very seriously talking about all these things. Let's go back and we reflect about some examples that I could give you. Imagine, for those who really like video games, okay? I believe you have been playing at least some games, yeah? Isn't it? All right, and those which have the levels, okay, few levels for us. So I'm taking video game as an example. or it could be any game, even a Candy Crush, Crash Candy. That also got a lot of levels, isn't it? So let's take one example of a game that you used to play. Okay, what happens over there? In order to win or score high, we need to continuously move from one level to another level. Yeah, when we start to enjoy the process itself, what happened? We feel excited and we feel determined that I must win this level regardless of how many times we fail. Have you ever experienced that? We fail so many times to pass through that one level, but we are so determined. We never go down. We didn't feel bad. We don't sit and cry. We feel like I must finish this by today. Or there are people or friend or my friends, they don't even eat. Okay, they was like, I must finish this level. Okay, I can't do other things without passing this through. So each time we fail, yeah, in that game, we feel the urge, the adrenaline rush is that I must complete this. Yeah, we push ourselves to the maximum to make sure I will get it this time. Yeah, we start to observe what we will do. We start to observe our pattern, our own pattern, isn't it? What went wrong? Okay, how come I cannot pass this level? We look at the strategies that we use, the mistakes that we make. Yeah, and everything, we start to observe everything that's happening around us, and we make sure we do not repeat them again in order to pass that level. We create our own new strategy, yeah, based on our experience that we gained, and now we will imagine the excitement and happiness that you get when you succeeded. Similarly, that's exactly the way that our mind works. When you're able to inject that excitement in you, regardless of what type of challenges that you are going through, and if you know, no matter how many times I fail, I'm going to observe all this. I think Munirah have touched earlier, yeah, about that. Observing what is exactly happening. Yeah, so in order for you to see what are the other challenges or what are the patterns that we are going through. Now, let's bring back ourselves to our life challenges. There are a few things that we can't run away of it, which I just want to quickly go through on this, yeah. Right. One of the most important, which Hanie have shared earlier, I'm going to touch on that as well. Yeah, life challenges about loss. This is what our pandemic that many of us are going through. Whether you lost your job, your opportunity, or a relationship, loss is an inevitable part of life. Okay, not only during pandemic, we have loss in our life before this. It could be in any form. Okay, reflect to that. It could be in any form, which means loss is not something new to us. And regardless of how it happens, loss is definitely one of the life's biggest challenge, isn't it? It can really, you can feel abroad, it feels destructive. And however, this loss will give you an opportunity. How it becomes an opportunity? When we reflect on what is truly important to you, to keep you moving forward. Losing something, of course, is a pain. But knowing that you have lost something, ask this question to yourself. What did I just lose and how is it valuable to me? What am I willing to do to get it back? This is the way where we train our mind, where we choose to examine the loss through the lens of this question, which can actually will be able to assess what is the true value of what we have lost. That is one about loss. The second thing I would like to share would be failure. This is very close to what we are going through, right? It could be even in the students, it can happen in workplace. Failure. There is no single person alive who haven't experienced failure. I have seen failure on my own. Yeah, to share my personal experiences. That if is it allowed, okay? Yeah, just to share a personal experience. Many people around me, they have think that, oh Lakshmi, you have done so well. You are so great. I'm inspired by you. But some of them knows the journey. See, we miss the journey. We look at what they have succeeded. Now they can say, wow, Munirah, Hanie, they're doing really great. But none have seen the journey that they may have traveled. How many failures they would have gone through, how many losses we have gone through, isn't it? It could be in any form. Yeah. So when we go through all this, reviewing the decision, yeah, of what are the decisions we have taken, choice again. What is your choice? What is the action that you have taken? What is the decision that you have taken that lead you to fail? Is an invaluable exercise. It is okay. It is okay to fail because it teach you that there are many methods which may not be go well with you or go align with you, isn't it? So how you can actually brush up that or polish up those skills or things that didn't go well How can you bounce back? That experience of failure is actually can be, as I mentioned, during that moment, it'll be very intense. Oh, I failed. What am I supposed to do next? Yeah. Again, bring yourself back to the game that you used to play. Did you stop there? No, isn't it? Life is also like a game. Okay, but don't gamble it wrongly, lah, right? So it is all about the level and phases. So those experience. Another word, remember earlier I've mentioned when I said challenge, there are a lot of different words comes in. Setbacks. Okay, that's one of it. Setbacks, it has many different names as well. The missteps, okay, they can say unforeseen circumstances. Exactly what we are going through, pandemic. It is totally unforeseen circumstances that we are all in. We thought 2020, once it ends, 2021 going to give us a very good, bright future. And suddenly there's MCO 2.0, 3.0. We didn't expect this. But however, there are opportunities, or the journey itself, they've already prepared us. 2020 have prepared us very well on how for us can go through this 2021. It can be 2022. None of us knows where is the beginning and where is the ending. But the journey, the process, how we're going to experience this, for me personally, I would say it is still within our control. Mastering your mind, yeah, finding what is the needs, okay, based on your own issue. Let's not compare yourself with another person, yeah, because if I start to compare myself with another person, I'll feel very less. Okay, and there's another person who's comparing themselves with me, they feel very less. Isn't it?
Thank
so
you,
once
Lakshumy.
yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, you're about to say something.
No. What I'm saying is do not compare yourself. Just enjoy the process of a life.
Thank you so much. A lot of things that we've gathered here for the past 1.5 hours. Time has flown and we are about to finish and there's only 3 minutes left and we'll need to wrap up, everyone. I'll start off perhaps on my nuggets that I got from this. Even I am learning, part of the participants that are here today, and I hope the participants have taken away some great things that had been discussed today. So my take, quickly, right? So 4 things that curious, clarity, conscious, communication. Need to have that as part of how we synthesize our thoughts, right? Hanie, your shrinking of the brain has caused a stir with the participants. Many wanted to know more about that. I will definitely
Fazi, you are muted.
Really? Okay, I don't have much time then. So then the bread on the table, that is something that, you know, I will also remember as a coach myself. Perhaps that could be something that I also ask my coaches, right? Okay, and I was saying just now before I got muted was you know, the mind-blowing brain shrinking that has caused a stir with the people in this chat, right? So thank you so much, Hanie. So that's from me. Over to you, Munirah. Your thoughts and a wrap up.
Right. First of all, thank you very much for sitting in for the last 1.5 hours to hear our views and all that. Thank you, YHOW, for the invite. I guess my parting words for everyone is that, you know, we need to believe in ourselves, you know, and take on those challenges and dig deep within ourselves to conquer those fears, all right? Because never let anyone bring you down. So you got to keep going, all right? Because if you have positive attitude and consistently strive to give your best efforts, eventually you will overcome your immediate problems and find that you are ready for greater challenges. So with that, I wish everyone all the best. Enjoy the rest of the day. Please continue to stay positive, take care, and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Munirah. Hanie, over to you. 2 minutes, Hanie.
Okay.
1
Well,
minute, 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute.
All
I'll
right.
speak very quickly. I like what Lakshumy was saying, you know, about not comparing ourselves to others. I've read about this somewhere. There's a quote, I cannot be credited to this, but what it's basically saying is that we need to take our life exam on our own. We cannot take other people's life exam because they're not the same. Different test papers. So, you know, if they got theirs right, then that's fine. But we need to take our own. So choices, options are ours to do. We cannot make that comparison. So it doesn't matter what other people are saying. We need to take our own life exam. That's from me.
you. Thank you. I've taken my life exam. Final, Lakshumy.
All right. Okay. What I would like to say to those participants here, no matter who you are or where you are from, all right, as long as you're in your journey of your personal development and personal healing journey, just remember a few important things. Yeah. Remember to let go of the things that you can't control in exchange of your present life. Yeah. Create space for your healthy self-reflection. Give yourself permission to re-examine your own values and beliefs, and embrace the resilience that you have already learned and you have come out of it. You are already a super wonderful human being. You just need to embrace that and enjoy the process. All right. And all
Thank
the
you.
best to all of you.
Thank you so much. To my panelists, thank you so much. It has been great fun. Thank you for all your nuggets that you have given to us. To the participants, thank you so much for being with us for the past 1.5 hours. And we hope that we have given you some form of takeaways. And have a very good morning and enjoy the rest of the session. Stay
Thank you.
safe. Thank you.